I was 6 years old, and I was bouncing with excitement in the musty old seat in the Royal Theater in Laredo because for the very first time, I was going to see real life people on a stage playing music and dancing. Had never done that before. And it was an amazing thing looking around at, other families coming in and the daughters with them. See, Laredo is a dance town, always has been. Some towns are football towns or race car towns, rodeo towns, a lot of those. But we've always been a dance town. And you go to dancing school as soon as you're old enough, which is about 6. And I had already been in a recital. I was 6 years old and in a group of girls that we were playing wind-up dolls, and our costumes had a big key in the back. And the dance teacher came by and wound up the key, and we went dancing across the stage to the old Shirley Temple song, "On the Good Ship, Lollipop, it's a quick trip to the candy shop." That was fun, and we loved the applause. But tonight, we were thinking we were going to see people from far away because they had come all the way from Fort Worth, 450 miles down a 2-lane road. And they had just finished a sellout tour. I mean, selling out a 4,000-seat theater every night for months in Fort Worth at the Texas Centennial Celebration. Texas was celebrating 100 years of independence from Mexico. And they decided to do it up fancy in Fort Worth. They did the educational stuff in Dallas, but Fort Worth, come here for fun. And people did. And so they had this huge amphitheater. It sat 4,000 people, and it was a circular stage, and it even went around. It revolved. And they called it Casa Mañana. So we thought, oh, that's perfect for Laredo. We didn't even have an English language radio station yet. So we were thrilled to get this group here. And we were waiting for them to start, and finally they did. The curtain parted, and Sally Rand came on stage. We had been told she was the fan dancer, but we were thinking flamenco fans, the black lace ones that you wave around. But instead, she had 2 enormous fans made out of ostrich plumes, pink ones. And she had them in front of her, and music was playing softly, and she was waving them around. And all of a sudden, you could see underneath the fans, and she didn't have much on. And I'm thinking, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I hope Sister Mary Incarnation at St. Peter's School doesn't ever find out what I'm looking at here. But I looked around and everybody else was looking, so I looked too. Well, she finally went off stage, and then we had an intermission, kind of. I guess you'd call it that. It was like a vaudeville thing. We had a guy on a unicycle, which I had never seen a unicycle before, and he could ride it and not fall off. And then there were little dogs all dressed up in costumes and doing tricks. And then there was a juggler. I can't keep anything from falling down, and he kept stuff in the air for a long time. And then there were clowns, all in costumes and playing tricks on each other and getting away with it. It was amazing. But that finally went away, and the music started again, the little band that was with them. And the curtains finally parted. And here came Sally Rand again. And the program had said she was going to do a bubble dance. So I was thinking she'd be there blowing bubbles. And they'd be floating around. And, you know, that would be fun while she danced. Maybe she'd even chase them. But so Sally Rand came out, and she was covered from her neck to her thigh in pig balloons, big pink balloons. And she danced around, and they kind of wobbled a little bit, you know how balloons will do. And then all of a sudden, the music stopped. And she looked at the audience and kind of a sly smile, and she took out a long pin with jewels on it. And she went, pop, pop, and a balloon went off. And everybody gasped. We had no idea that this was considered a bubble. And then she went on dancing, and all of a sudden she came back around, and here came the pin, pop! And I'm thinking, oh dear. How many balloons does she have on? And how many balloons is she gonna pop? And will I have to tell this in confession if I maybe, you know, close one eye? Is that a venial sin instead of a mortal sin? I wasn't sure what to do, so I looked around at the other people. They were all staring at the stage. So I thought, okay, I'll stare at the stage too. And I did. I can't tell you how many balloons she popped, because I think at some point my scared little brain froze. And so I don't remember how many balloons went before I got hauled off and taken home between Mother and Daddy. And if they ever talked about it again, I didn't hear it. It wasn't to me. Maybe they talked about it to their friends. The only thing I know for sure from that is that every time I hear a balloon go pop, I get a rocket ride back to the theater, the Little Royal Theater in Laredo, Texas in 1936.